lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio.
And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Shout out D on the track, Paint Music Media. Shout out DJ Lee Productions, and I'm Al Ken. But if you a game changer, got my head, my grind on high, win, lose, or drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 I'm full court press. I pledge allegiance to the best. Ain't nothing left to give it that reverence that the Father gets. So every day I work the sweat, can get a flesh, another rest. They say go hard or go home. I say just do whatever's best. It's evident I'm blessed and I work like it. Fight like a Viking. Fight like a lichen. The difference is I like it, so I shine like I'm lightning. So I'm going head to head with certain depth. Who you liking? Yeah. So it's time for coach to put me in. I'm strapping on my shoulder pads, lacing up my cleats, and then I'm gone with the wind. Like I'm gone in 60 seconds. You can't hold me, you can't check me. Check the memo, check the message running through. Like I'm baddest, I'm trucking whoever's standing in my way. Ain't no way you gon' stop me. You better off to let me in. Cause I go hard, even though they say no way that I could win. Like I'm Brett Ford, I'ma ride this way. My head to the sky, my grind on high. Win, lose, or drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 Yeah, I told you once before, my God came to change the game. Different outlook on to life, a different way to play the lane. Now my rushing yours is skyrocketing. Now I'm so insane. For the kingdom building, now my shot it cannot be contained. So I'm gon' pray for change for myself and then what I can. I don't need no euros or no pesos or no money grams. Shout out to Wado, cause I know that he gon' play this fam. The FCA sports camp, game changer, summer jam. I don't need 100 grand to tell them that they need the lamb. It's heaven, it's just who I am. Al Kim, this where I stand. Man, I'm gon' play the fist. It's so deep to turn and quit. It's like I'm out from the trap to turn around, get back in it. Never that's so insane. It's evident your butt they chain. Like I'm Jack Johnson, the same year he changed his name. So I sacrifice my life for the cause just to win. And if you a game changer, let me see my head represent. My grind on high. Win, lose, or drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 Now put me in, coach. 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 I'ma go hard.
I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard.
Cause I'm a game changer. 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 I'm a game changer.
Welcome to Monday. This is your favorite entrepreneur, Charles McCutchen, with Charles' Corner. I hope everybody's doing well today. Hope everybody's doing good. And as you know, every Monday we bring you some finance, business, real estate, estate planning, budgeting, wealth management, and a lot more. And I bring the people who have the knowledge who can have a better understanding of what's going on. My motto is don't wait, anticipate. That's how we get ahead. So today I want to bring you all the way from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Mr. John S. Pruitt. And before I bring him on, he's been in the business world for a long time. He has years up under his belt helping people. He's a writer, editor, helping people publish books as well, head of research for a nonprofit. And he's currently in the Rockies right now, enjoying life, relaxing, taking some time off. Mr. Pruitt, are you on the line, sir?
I am indeed, Charles. Good to hear your voice.
Hey, thank you. I have you loud and clear. Thank you for taking a few minutes of your time out, and I got you on, and I just want to, start out with some just basic questions so people understand, who I have.
Sure.
Okay? Can you
Perfect.
What's your background?
I think I got started as an entrepreneur when I started pushing a lawnmower or started washing windows or started a paper route, and it just kind of keeps going from there. So I think most entrepreneurs are born, they're not made.
Love it. So I wanted to get you on because of the business aspects, and I know you have a lot of other different things that you can speak on as we go, down this road. But from a business aspect, how long have you been just in business in general?
I've gone in and out. I've actually even retired. I was able to take a year or two off, and I recommend that for individuals if they can take a year or two off and kind of reflect on life. So, but pretty much since I was a kid, just even had a business in high school, doing disco dances, and just got out into the work world and went to college but dropped out to get more involved in business. And I think it's just something you always have an itch to do and just kind of something you're passionate about. So I'd say pretty much from the day I was born, I was probably starting my life of business.
Now, this is what I want to ask you. I ask a lot of people this, people who have businesses, people thinking about businesses, and people who are, just starting out who may have just got a business or been in 20-plus years or what have you. So
right.
Or let's get it this way, because a lot of people just graduated. So what would you say to those graduates right now? They just graduated. Let's say they graduated college or even high school. To give me some advice that you would give to them right now from all your experience and what you do.
Yeah, I think, you hear it a lot, but you just got to do whatever you're passionate about. I mean, if you are passionate about something, the money will follow. And I think that's probably the best advice I can give.
So what would you say some qualifications would be for someone just to start a business in general?
I think, sometimes you hear, we got to be a self-starter, you have to have good business skills and all this stuff. And I agree with that. At the same time, I think that, there's so many different types of businesses that, there's no definite, like, you might be shy and do extremely well in business. You might not have to interact with people, or even being shy might be a benefit of the way you interact with people. Some people are overbearing. So I think if you have something in you that says, I want to start a business, I think you should sit down and go through the steps and give it a shot.
Okay. This is one thing that everybody brings up, and I see a lot of people struggling with, and that's, you want to start a business, you sit down and you start writing out, okay, what do I want to do? But let's talk about a business plan. Where do you see that?
Great idea. Yeah, great idea. I think a lot of people freeze. They think, I can't do this or I can't do that. And I think when it comes to writing a business plan, start with one sentence, and then make it one paragraph, and then make it one page, and then keep adding to it. And, it doesn't have to be a long business plan. I actually recommend that people go online and build a website. I think nowadays, that's a great tool. In the past, you had to sit down and come up with your ideas on black and white paper, and it was kind of boring. Nowadays, you can actually sit there for free on a great sites like Wix.com, Wix.com, and you can just build your idea out there. You can get it out of your head and visually onto a website, and I think it really helps you kind of refine your ideas.
Okay. Let me, people hear me talk about working out there, getting the W-2s and then business as well. What is your take on working, for, even if you work for the government, corporate, or what have you, an agency, and starting a business, like as far as juggling the two, what would you say about it? I'm not going to speak on it.
No. I totally get it. And I had a great friend of mine who was working at a company, and he was honest with the company, and he ran a RV business on the side, and he did extremely well. I mean, some people love to go watch football or basketball, with all their free time, and there's no law against running a business with your free time if you really are that driven and care about your family's future that much. So I think as long as you're honest with yourself and your employer, I don't ever recommend doing anything deceptive like, using employer time for running your business.
Okay, I can understand that. Now, from the tax perspective in businesses, can you speak to that for people who may not want to recommend that they do or don't?
There's one of the most important things in running a business is to know your audience and know your customers. And the same thing when you're giving advice. And so I don't know who's on the line, so I'm giving real general advice here. Businesses are a great way to run your life. I mean, you can, you get to die for your dream instead of dying for somebody else's dream. And believe me, there's a lot of people out there who will try to enroll you in their dream, which maybe it's not such a bad thing. There's trade-offs in life, but if you're driven to run a business, you're far better dying for your own dream than somebody else's. As far as the tax implications of it, there's a lot of different things there. There's benefits. You can write stuff off. You can actually show no income, have zero income for quite a while, which can be beneficial. And then that's one side of the tax thing is your own personal income. The other side is, how do you collect and pay your taxes? And that really comes down to, is that your strength? If it's not, you hire an accountant. The nice thing is when you hit a wall, there's always somebody there to help you. Like if you don't know how to get a business license, just make a phone call. Somebody will tell you how to get a business license. If you don't know how to set up a legal entity like a corporation or something, there's companies out there. So pretty much anything you can think of, there's somebody out there who can help you to get it done. So don't let anything become a reason not to try.
I love what you said. Are you willing to die for yours? That is, I live by that. I mean, we work so hard in helping other people to fulfill their dreams, and a lot of people forego theirs, and that just means the world to me. Let me ask you something about business and myths, because I hear a lot of people say it's supposed to be one way, but they've never done it. So what are some of the myths that you heard about just being in the industry of business?
I looked at that question first before we spoke today and gave it a little bit of thought. And, one of the myths of running a business is that it's a good thing. And I went and met with the head of the SBA once in Washington, D.C., and I was really disappointed because he was sitting behind a desk, a government bureaucrat, and all he was trying to do was talk me out of going into business. So I was very unimpressed. At the same time, I kind of understood where he was coming from years later because, there's so much risk involved in running a business, and there's so many downfalls that you want to make sure that you're aware of those before you step out. So one of the myths is it getting into business is a good idea? Maybe it's not. At the same time, don't let that keep you from getting into business. If you really have a passion to do something, push through all the negatives if you're being realistic, and then take a risk and give it a shot. You might end up much, much happier than you are right now.
Now, see, this is the thing. When I look at your bio and I see the many hats that you wear, how can somebody, a lot of people just work one job and then go home and then that's it. So how do you find time? Can you explain that one to me?
Yeah, well, the nice thing is we all have the same number of hours in a day. Nobody, the President of the United States, whether it's our former President Obama or our current President Trump, they have the same number of hours as you and I. At the same time, I mean, there's a lot of responsibilities out there, and then you have to decide, what am I going to do with my time? Are you going to go fishing? Are you going to work for an employer? Are you going to spend time with your family? You have to prioritize, and there's trade-offs. And, once you get rolling, there's a lot of synergistic things you end up doing with your time. Can you hear me?
I got you, loud and clear.
Yeah, you might run a business, but then you decide you want to get involved in a nonprofit endeavor. You might run a business and decide that you want to, be involved in another business. So, you just have to just say what's the best use of my time in a given week. And I know this is a Christian-based broadcast, so I just want to also say that, when it comes to your time, I have a rule where I shut down for 24 hours a week, so I work 6 days a week, and then I take off for one entire day on Sunday. And I believe God blesses that. I mean, you look at Chick-fil-A, how God's blessed that endeavor. Same thing with your money. I mean, the most important thing you can do financially in a business is to tithe, to tithe from your business income and to tithe from your personal income. So these are just kind of a few thoughts.
Oh, wow. Good stuff. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to go down the list of, some of the things you do. I just want to ask you about it and see what you're taking, some of the things that you're doing, because you have a few things out there that you're doing. And one of them is a developer. Can you expound on that and what you're doing and what you've done already and what you're going to do in the future?
Yeah, and that's how I met you, and through one of our mutual friends. I have a passion for senior care, and I had a publication in the senior care market in the past, and also enjoy the world of development, and had kind of looked for some land to put together a really beautiful high-rise. And I had stepped into this world and actually worked in a job in this environment, so I knew realistically what was involved. And I realized that it's a very dangerous field to get into, a lot of litigation, taking care of other people's family members. So I figured the only way to do it was to do it first class. So we've identified a piece of property, oceanfront, that we can put together what I call a 5-star independent senior living. It's designed to be the nicest independent senior living between New York City and Miami. And and that's a great idea. This is a good field, to get into right now. There's a lot going on in caring for those who are getting older.
Okay. What would it take to become a developer? Somebody just wants to become a developer. What does that entail?
It depends on, who you are and what your skills are. And I have kind of a vision that I can see, that I can't do everything. But I'm the kind of person who I can say, well, there's an architect over here, and there's a ground construction company over here who does, your underground work, and there's a lawyer over here who does your planned urban development, paperwork, and there's accountants over here who help you with your cash flow and performance. So usually as a developer, you're kind of sitting in the middle of everything, and you're pulling everything together, which is pretty much in any business. Like even if you're running an ice cream shop, you have to sit in the middle of it all. You have to say, okay, I have to hire the employees, I have to take care of the suppliers, I have to take care of the electric bill. So it's really no different. It's just you're probably dealing with more real estate and bulldozers and just kind of bigger stuff. So it's kind of like being a kid in a sandbox.
Got you. And I see on your bio as a writer, what have you written, and are you actually helping people to write, or you write for people, or what does that entail?
Yeah, in the past I just got bored going to movies, so I decided I could do better, and that's just kind of the entrepreneurial thing, is you always think you can do better. That's a good thing in a way, as long as it's also, tempered with realism. And, so I took time on Friday and Saturday evenings in the past, instead of going to a movie, just writing films. And then I carried my film concepts to Sundance Film Festival and, built a little team, started a production company. And so it's kind of a passion of mine on the side right now. It's not my primary interest, but it's something I definitely enjoy doing.
Oh, wow. So you actually have some film out there right now?
Well, we got one project in development. I haven't filmed any of my own projects yet. I hope to do that. That's why I put together my production company. I've been on the sets of many productions and assisted at, other friends of mine who are in the business to complete their projects. Got you.
Okay. Now I want to shift over to editor, because it seems that a lot of people want to write. A lot of people talk about writing, and, I'm not a writer myself. I will, pay an editor to do the editing, because that's not what I do. So what part of the editing process are you in, and what are you doing with that?
That started off from the film writing. It was just kind of a writing passion. I've been a writer since I was a kid. And, writing business plans, writing, novels, writing, creative endeavors, things like that. Just kind of writing is a really good skill to have. And actually, English is a great degree to have if you want to go into the world of business. So, get back to the question again. You were just asking, what parts. I do come across a lot of individuals who want to put together a book, and the chances of succeeding in the world of publishing is very, very slim nowadays. I mean, there's the occasional, government official or celebrity, and they get prime placement in these big bookstores, and bookstores are disappearing as well. I think about all we got left is Books A Million and Barnes and Noble. Borders went out of business, things like that. So we're really the big shift in the world of publishing right now, which is actually positive, because now you can create your own book on a word processor, and you can work with great companies and then list it for sale on Amazon, and then use your own creative marketing skills and get your book out there. And and you hold your book side by side with the nicest bestseller in any bookstore, and you can't tell the difference. So it's a really fascinating time to be, an author or somebody who wants to tell your story through the medium of a book.
Oh, wow. I love that. I didn't know Borders had went out of business, but I don't. I go to Barnes and Nobles a lot. I didn't even think about Borders and how a lot of people want to do more stuff online. Like even stores are going out of business because people shopping online now.
So true. Now you have ebooks. Ebooks are really taking over for. But I meet so many people who say I always ask, what's your favorite type of book? They'll say, I love a hardback. And somebody else will say, I love a softback. Somebody will say, I like a pocketbook. When I say a pocketbook, I'm talking about the small kind of version of a softback.
Yeah.
And or some people just say, I have my Kindle, I have my Nook. I just love to read on my iPad. So everybody just loves to read in different ways, which is really beneficial. And it's so much cheaper to get a book out nowadays.
Oh, good. And that flies out into publishing books. Are you actually helping people to publish their own? Are you doing it for them, or what?
Yeah, I got involved in the process, actually helping my mother who was converting a screenplay to a novel. And I learned very quickly that, there's a lot of scams involved in this whole business. And they steal these authors' dreams, and they chew you up, take your money, and spit out your dream. And I couldn't stand it. It made me so angry. And so I decided to step in and help authors whenever I can to avoid that process and to do it in a way that's, working with the reputable companies where you're spending smart money, you're not just throwing money away. So, but yeah, there's some great companies out there who can provide, this underpinning where the actual printing or the editing or wherever your weakness is, but if you're not a writer, you're kind of stuck, so if you're a writer, all the other pieces can come together.
I get it. I saw that when I was, on the journey, and I'm still on the journey, and my journey, to keep writing different books, different genres of different things that I'm already doing to show people more likely is how to do it. And I see that's where most people need the help. And they're like, well, how do I start? How do I start doing this particular thing? So I said, well, let me put it into a book. So that's the best thing I could do. And
right. Yeah, I totally agree.
And to your, when you say research nonprofit, what does that mean? Because I understand the nonprofit piece, but when you say research nonprofit, what does that entail?
That was kind of a side thing that ended up happening. When I was very young, before I got sidetracked into entrepreneurship, I was studying pre-medicine. And so I think it's just something that was a passion when I was young. And, my father developed cancer and died from it. My brother just died from cancer just, less than 2 months ago. And you meet so many wonderful individuals, and you also see other nations who are dealing with problems like quality of water, which is causing health problems. And so it's just, as a Christian man, I thought, wow, I want to invest my time in doing something for others. What can I do? So I began to just try to put some of my thoughts and ideas into creating a foundation that could actually bring the money in and to spend it wisely in trying to solve some of these problems.
Got it. And I meet a lot of people who, like you've already dove into so many different things. And a lot of people are okay, where do I start? With you having all these things, did one lead to another, or did you do 2 or 3 things at a time?
It really does. I love America. I lived in England, and England actually beats up on people who are successful. And, it's really hard to be successful in England. And I don't know about other cultures. I haven't lived in a whole lot of them. But I know that that's very different, big difference between America and England. And whereas in America, we applaud failure. And I have not met one successful entrepreneur yet in my life who hasn't said that they have failed far more times than they succeeded.
I wanted to bring that up as well. Why do you think, in plural, just for, in general, why do you think businesses fail?
One time I had a really cool job, and I'm glad I did it. I worked for the United States Chamber of Commerce just for a brief period of time, and my job was literally to go out in one major U.S. city and literally meet, I kid you not, almost every single business owner in the entire city. Because it's just a brief meeting. It's walk in, give your little pitch about what the U.S. Chamber can do for you, and then out the door. And I learned something, and these, they were very honest with me, these business owners, that 80% of businesses don't make any money. All they do is they're a bulldozer that pushes debt in front of themselves, and eventually that debt comes over the shovel and falls on the driver. So it made me realize if you're going to go into business, try to pick a business that's profitable. I mean, it's hard to make money if you're not profitable. I went to a business college at University of North Carolina, the Keenan Institute of Private Enterprise, for an executive management class once, and they had a class, and it was supposed to be very, very, like it was a really great thing to be involved in this class. And I got there and found out the class was titled Buy Low, Sell High, Collect Early, Pay Late. And I just kind of laughed, but that's business right there. You have to buy low, sell high, collect early, and pay late. So I think whenever you're buying high and selling low, you're going to go out of business. If you're collecting, your money and you're losing, you can lose money just by the way you collect your money. I had one business we were involved in before, and we had 120-day average payables, and it was so hard to float that money for our customers for 120 days, and it literally was killing us. So, how you sell high or low and how you collect early or late can make a big difference in your success or failure.
So this is a good one that somebody asked me as well. For each of your different businesses, from say developer to writer to editor, publishing books, do you have a separate entity for those? I mean, is it under one business umbrella?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think that's what you learn after a while. You realize how easy it is. I work solely with the company corporation out of Delaware. I just like working with them. They're just a great group. And if I have a new entity I want to start or a new nonprofit I'm working on, I just pick up the phone, call them, and, they take care of the entity and take care of all the paperwork. And then I can just hand that paperwork to the bank and open up an account, and you're in business. Maybe business cards and you're done. But the company corporation is phenomenal. You can set up as an LLC, a corporation, an S corp. There's pros and cons to all of those, and a lot of those can be answered just by reading their website, the company corp. They'll tell you, what the pros and cons are, or just rely on your accountant or maybe another mentor.
Let me ask you this. You bring up Delaware because I'm working out of Delaware as well. Why did you choose Delaware as the state for your entity?
I don't always choose Delaware as an entity. I do occasionally. But the company corp just happens to be based in Delaware because that's where so many corporations are based. Occasionally I will choose a state corporation in the state where I live just because I prefer to do that. And there's not any huge tax advantages for choosing Delaware over my home state. So, but there are advantages for a lot of businesses in being situated in Delaware, and that's primarily from a tax standpoint.
Got you. And that's the main reason I did it as well, from a tax standpoint. And I have, from Delaware to Virginia to, I was always told, just from a real estate perspective and doing wholesaling, it's Delaware, Nevada, and Wyoming were the top three that people that I was working with, they would definitely use those, and that was just for tax purposes. But for everybody out there, I say, my disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, an accountant, or a legal person. We're just giving y'all general information that you can go research for yourself and talk to your tax professional, your legal counsel, whatever you have to do to get to where you need to get to. I don't want y'all saying, well, Ms. Pruitt said or Charles said, no, I don't want to deal with that.
No, I agree. But I will say this, that the best company in America, and most people will agree with this, to work with, to set up your entity is the Company Corp out of Delaware. They're just phenomenal, and they do it so cheap compared to how you can get it done locally.
Yeah. I just set my own up now. What I've done, this is what I truly believe, like even a business plan, if it's already out there, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to get that business plan, and I'm going to follow it to the T and change out what I need to change out because, we can do that. We're not taking a test, so it's like we can plagiarize and take different things that fit our model, our business model. So I do that with a lot of things that I work with as well. Even writing books, I use other models, and nonprofit, I use other models. So I'm a big component of if it's already out there, let's cut the losses and go in and see if we can get the information and work it from there. At least get an 80% solution and then go out and ask for help, that type of thing. Transition on to, how you and I met. I know we met over the phone, met through some folks, and we're going to be working on a project with the independent living facility. And I'm excited about that. I know it's coming, and there's some people that may be listening now that have some business with that, with the assisted living facility, independent living facility, that health side of things. Where do you see that going now that all the baby boomers are, a lot of them retiring and things like that? Where do you see the independent living facilities, where do you see that moving to?
Well, 10 years ago, if you wanted all these services, you had to, move your loved one or family member out of their living environment into another living environment. And that was kind of tough on them. And, who wants to spend your whole life living in your own home and then all of a sudden be kicked out, for reasons like, nursing care or food preparation or things like that. But nowadays, most of these services can be provided into the home on a cost-effective basis. The only reason why we decided to go with, kind of an outsource type situation is we're not doing it as assisted living or even, nursing care or anything like that. It's still independent residences. So these are basically just, it's a high-rise independent residence where, these individuals can go there and the services can be brought into them. So I'm still a big believer in let's keep everything brought into the home. And but there are times, where you have no choice but for an individual in the family they're better off to go into an assisted living or to a nursing care, and that has a lot to do with their health needs or their social needs. I've met so many who had no social life whatsoever in their home life, and moving into assisted living home was phenomenal. They got a whole group of friends. The caregivers became their friends, and the other residents became their friends.
Oh my goodness, I didn't really, I didn't think about the big social piece, because a lot of them do have their own houses right now. I'm working on that now. A lot of them don't want to be, they're living by themselves, and the kids may not be around anymore, and they just want out the deal, want to get out of the house, and I guess that social life is more important than just, having your own house and things like that. So, makes a lot of sense. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Well, let me ask you this. Do you have any parting words that you want to share or anything you want to share? I'm going to go into a few more things before I get off. Just the last couple of things you had asked about failure, and I just a few things came to mind that I'd written down earlier. I think the number one thing that causes failure is a lack of mentorship. And I think and the mentor, you can find a competitor on the other side of town will become a great mentor, or anybody. It's just shocking. Most people just don't think anybody will help them, and so they don't ask. And so I think that lack of mentorship. I think the number one thing that keeps people from trying to go into business, which is a shame, is a lack of confidence. Some people have incredible skills. Just because they've never done it before, they think they can't, and they just lack that confidence to try.
And I think most people succeed in life just because they don't know how much they shouldn't succeed. In other words, they try it and they really are going against all odds, but because they don't know the odds, they actually end up succeeding by accident.
I heard about that before. Succeeding by accident, by keep on moving. This is another thing I want to touch on. Now, as you went along and being an entrepreneur, I just think that's just a different mindset than most people have. The majority of people are not entrepreneurs. The majority, want to go to work, get that wage from the job, and that's just what they want to do. And as for an entrepreneur, though, growing up and going through all these different things that hit you, like, man, I want to do this writer, I want to be a developer, I want to do this. What was it like for you and people that you knew that were not into the entrepreneurship world? How would they come at you, or how would you, what would that relationship be like?
Yeah, I think we all have different personalities, and I made a note to myself, before the call, that even if you were to never step out and start your own business, you should still run your own life like a business. In other words, you should still have investments. You should still, time manage. Even if you're waking up every day to go work for somebody else, you should still run your life like it's a business. When I say that, I mean, you should be careful about cost and, just decisions that businessmen or businesswomen make every day. So I think that's real important. And repeat your question again. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, as you were going through your entrepreneurship phase, did people treat you differently? Did they, that type of thing? How were you?
I mean, there's definitely a price to pay. I mean, I used to work 7 days a week before I became a born again Christian, and then as soon as I decided to follow God, through His Son, and surrendered my life, all of a sudden I thought, wow, I need to set aside Sundays to worship, and then I need to, be more honest in my business. Right? It changes your whole perspective when you become a Christian business person. And I admire the founder of this little network that we're on right now, Kimmy Robinson. She had a dream, just like you said, and and we're here talking and encouraging others, because of her dream. And she's very much, her foundation is Christ. So I think without that foundation, you're wasting time. I mean, I watched a documentary the other day. I was invited to come home quickly because there's a great documentary about Warren Buffett on. I got there and I watched it. I was fascinated, inspired. Got right to the very end. They asked him, what his foundation in faith was, and he said that he was an agnostic. And I thought, here's a man who can give away $37 billion, but yet he didn't find God. So I think the most important thing in life and business is, to get that foundation. And then it doesn't matter what other people think. Like you said, how do other people relate with me? Before I was a Christian, they were like going, why are you, never participating in anything? Why don't you go visit family, this, that, and the other? So my life wasn't in balance. So, you're always going to get criticized, but if your foundation is right, it makes a lot more sense, and it's easier to kind of, say, okay, well, I know you feel that way, but, I really feel like I'm doing what God has called me to do.
Got you. I don't know, just from give me your opinion on this one, do you think you can teach balance?
I think balance is something you learn, like, if your wife walks out the door because you're working too much, you're like, uh-oh, and so you hopefully the life doesn't have to give you these hard lessons, that you're smart enough to kind of, figure it out as you're going. But I think if your foundation is wrong, it doesn't matter. You're always going to be wrong. You can do great things with your life, but, great things don't get us into heaven.
Without a doubt. I love that. I love that you put it that way. So let me get your parting words, sir, because I don't want to keep you all day, all night.
I'd rather hear your parting words, Charles. I always enjoy your encouragement.
Got you. Okay. This is how I'm going to curb this, because I do have a few minutes, and I wanted to thank Miss Kimmy Robinson, as I always do, with the Elation Magazine and then the Elation Radio, and, soon she's going to be Elation TV, and that's just going to, when you can reach millions of people and have a message, I think that's just truly a game changer. It's truly a game changer to me. And so every Monday we come on and we bring out this information for people, and the ultimate goal for me, and when I see, a lot of people, I see a lot of people out there struggling, and struggling financially as well, and struggling with, should they start, should they not start. and I look at, the taxes, and I look at what's coming to us as far as the what's going to happen. I'm not going to say if. What's going to happen is the market will crash, being the stock market, the housing market. It's just the law of, the ups and downs. It's going to come a time where it's going to crash. And I look at where everybody is, and I'm looking at people's 401ks, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, we are in such it's going to be dire need of financial and educational help. We're not set up for the bad times to happen. And when I say that, I look at, that's why I brought the guy on who does the estate planning, because a lot of people, when they pass, it's not, people don't have the right type of insurance, or they have these annuities, and they have all these things that's taking their money, and in the long run, you're going to be left with it like, well, nobody told me. And so that's why I'm doing these type of calls, because I want people to be informed, and I really, truly, truly need everybody to go do your research. Don't believe me. Don't believe anybody I bring up here, but do your own due diligence and make sure you find the professionals. If John said something that's something in your mind, I want you to go research it and go find out for yourself, because there's going to be a time where something's going to happen and you're not going to be ready. And I truly don't believe we're ready as a people. I'm talking about as a whole. And I just think it's going to get worse just because of, the economy is going to make it worse. The downfall of the stock market is going to make it worse. The downfall of a lot of different things. And it's just about being prepared. That's all. It's just about being prepared and having, having a trust, having, an IRA. A lot of people say, well, I'm saving money, but you're saving money at 0.5%. You have a CD at 1.5%. Inflation, 4, 5, 6%. So it's not like you're really making money on your money, and a lot of us just don't have a clue. We're putting money away in a sock drawer, not gaining any interest, and it is killing me. But, it's not for me to say. The only thing I can do is keep with investments in people that can enhance your lifestyle, that can help you to grow. But a lot of people, we're praying for it. We're praying like nobody's business. A lot of people are getting down on their knees, and they're praying. But then when God brings somebody and gives you the information, you don't want it because you haven't yet opened your eyes to receive it, or your hands are behind your back, so you won't receive. So you have to be able to pray for it and then be willing to receive the information. But I think the biggest thing that we're missing, and I'm talking about across the board, I don't care who you are, faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. A lot of people will pray and pray, but if you don't put any action behind it, nothing will happen. And I think what the Lord is doing, He's going to take us right up to that point and say, okay, well, what are you going to do? Because I'm going to put it in your face, but I want you at least to extend your arms. But a lot of people won't extend their arms, and one for fear of success, fear of failure. There's so many different things that we need to do that it's almost like you have to write it down and keep everything up to point and up to par, because hard times are coming. And this is what I did, and I'm going to tell y'all the reason why I say it's coming. I went into a room. It was 26 multi-millionaires in there, and I was the brokest guy in the room thus far. So when it was, all of them were economists. They were economists, and they were looking at the economy from a whole different light. They look at numbers. Economists look at numbers. They look at trends. And they started telling me things that I wouldn't even say on this line because it may scare some people. And I'm just sitting there with my mouth wide open like, I don't believe this is going to happen. But it's hard to refute numbers and refute history and refute trends when you see it and they're showing it to you and they're telling you the reason why. And I'm like, wow, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So we're going to keep doing these calls every Monday at 6 p.m. I'm looking to bring on, the heavy hitters to get the information out there. So what I'm going to do right now, I do want to thank you, Mr. Pruitt, for getting on. And if you want to get on later, definitely you have my blessing, and I would love for you to.
Well, I thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to the things we're going to be working on together in the future.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I'm going to pray us out. Father God, thank you for allowing Mr. Pruitt and myself to bless the people. Thank you for those that got on the call. And for those who couldn't make it, we honor you. And we know everything begins and ends with you, Father God. And see to those people going through the struggle and continue to bless the many. In your name we pray. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. This is Charles Corner. We'll be signing out. Y'all take it easy.
Therefore, if anyone is in Messiah, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. The old man's dead, he's passed on. Let's have a moment of silence to sing a sad song. Hope it don't last long, cause I gotta run. Got a meeting with the Father, Spirit, and the Son. Got work to be done, working for the kingdom. Man, I used to be dumb till I met Jesus. Now I stomp demons, kicking out their teeth. Preaching freedom to people on the street with a Tim to beat. Rhymes unique, put it together like a Dunkin' hot cake is sweet. So taste to see that the Lord is good. Happy is the man who trusts him like he should. If you're up to no good, get saved. Without Jesus, man, it's just flame. And the Lord will change you from the inside. And the next thing you know, that old man has died. See, the old man now has died. And inside the Lord I hide. Underneath his mighty wings. Hallelujah, joy he brings. I got peace within my soul. Overwhelmed, I lose control. I just got to give him praise. Cause I know my death's been paid. The old man's dead, laid to rest. I got shot with the word of God straight in my chest. And it pierced my flesh, sank to my heart. Now I'm a brand new man, I got a new start. I'm pushing for the mark, I'm set, ready to go. I'm running full speed and I'm about to blow like a time bomb, but I can't stay calm. Cause I got a fire burning in me like napalm. Used to be way gone, hooked on drugs. Now I just pray long, I'm hooked on love. It come from up above, you can have it too. Believe and receive, that's all you gotta do. The Lord standing at the door, don't you hear him knock? Waiting for you patiently to open up the lock. When you finally do and he walks inside, with just a little talk, that old man has died. See, the old man now has died. And inside the Lord I hide. Underneath his mighty wings. Hallelujah, joy he brings. I got peace within my soul. Overwhelmed, I lose control. I just got to give him praise. Cause I know my death's been paid. The old man's dead, it's 6 feet deep. And I'm covered in blood from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. But the blood's unique. It's the only blood to make your life complete. It's good for the hood, good for the heel. It will deliver, set free, and heal. And the blood that was spilled to heal your heart was the precious blood of the Son of God.